actress who won an Academy Award for her role in Shampoo. She has since gone on to become a gifted director whose latest effort tells the stories of breast cancer survivors and their families. Say It, Fight It, Cure It premieres this Sunday night on Lifetime. Please welcome Lee Grant. Well, hi, Lee.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is a very important documentary that you made.
Yes.
And I'm a huge admirer of all the documentaries that you've done.
I know. You remember we had lunch when you first came to New York because of that.
I did. I saw them and I was so impressed with them.
Right.
And this one, Say It, Fight It, Cure It, is about breast cancer.
Yeah. And it's the one I think that I have been most involved with and has moved me the most. Well, of course, you know, Rosie is a part of this in a very, very powerful and strong way.
Yeah, I did an interview for the documentary, and it is really about the women who are going through it. And I did an interview on what it was like to be a child whose mom died of this.
Absolutely.
Although they don't really know. My mom died in 1973, and they don't know where the cancer started that eventually killed her quickly when it hit her liver and her pancreas. But they don't know the origin of it, but they think it was that.
But what was left, of course, was that little 10-year-old in you now.
Right.
That still says, I want my mommy.
Sure.
And two of the women who we profiled were nursing mothers at the time when they got breast cancer. So it's an epidemic, and I think of all the documentaries that I've ever done that I've felt the most involved because these women are battling. You know, it's like profiles in courage.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And the stories and the young women on campus, I saw this documentary, and the young freshmen in college.
Yeah.
Who went to...
21 years old.
21 years old. It's happening earlier and earlier. Mm-hmm. And in some parts of the country, in fact, we have a clip from Long Island, where I grew up, which isn't it, in fact, the highest...
Long Island and Marin County, which is so interesting because it's like... the East Coast and the West Coast, and they're very beautiful, the most beautiful places in the world, and yet the breast cancer is highest in Long Island and in Marin County.
We have a clip from the documentary, which is actually my neighbor, Jackie, my friend's mom, speaking about this. Take a look. This is Say It, Fight It, Cure It.
This was my house, and I had breast cancer. My dog had breast cancer. And my friend who lived the next block, she had breast cancer and she passed away. And another lady had cancer. She lived the next corner and she died also from cancer. And Rosie O'Donnell's mother lived across the street and she also had cancer and she passed away. And down the end of the block, there was a lady with a brain tumor and she passed away. And one more lady lived behind Rosie O'Donnell's house, and she also died from breast cancer.
Very unnerving. It really is, because I really wonder.
And that was on one block.
That's
one block on her block. And we went back, and you saw the stuff that I did with Lorraine Pace, who did that study of showing the clusters of cancer on each block in Long Island. And, you know, the scientists have to come down off their high horses and out of the groves of academia onto the streets with the women who have cancer and who know about it.
Exactly.
And say, what's going on these streets, you know, because that's where it's going to be solved.
And that wonderful book, Civil Action. There's a wonderful book about cancer clusters in Massachusetts called Civil Action, where some children had leukemia, and they said, no, it couldn't possibly be environmental. And they had one lawyer who was so tenacious and finally went, and they won. And they found the cause of it. And I always found it interesting that we were the first families to live in those houses. They were built on top of potato fields that had been killed with pesticides right before the houses went up. So I always wonder if there's a connection with that, or perhaps the electricity on the wires through the back.
I know, I photographed those wires that you were talking about. And don't forget that Long Island drinks groundwater.
Right.
It doesn't come from the reservoir. So who knows what's put, I mean, with the golf courses, with the pesticides, you just don't know. But the point is that all these women, I mean, 180,000 women a year are getting breast cancer.
Right.
And they're angry, and they're inspired, and they're smart, and they're fighting. And that Say It, Fight It, Cure It is one of the chants that they were saying in front of the Washington Monument, demanding money from Congress to solve this problem.
Exactly.
And it was say it, fight it, cure it, damn it.
And it is a really unbelievably powerful piece of work, Lee. It really is, and I was proud to be a part of it, and it was a difficult thing to do in many ways, but I felt very nurtured in your hands, and I want to thank you for letting me be a part of it.
And I love you for it.
Thank you. It's on this Sunday on Lifetime at 8 o'clock. Please watch it. It is a very important issue. Lee Grant, thank you so much for being here. We'll be right back with Kevin Anderson after this.